Right Geardos, my name's Simon, I'm the head designer here at JJ's, and today I'm going to talk to you about Bergan Adaptions. I'm going to cover a few topics, which is one of them, which is going to be what you need to do to turn your Bergen from this into this. And then an insight into what goes into Bergan Adaptions, because not many people know how much work goes into Bergan Adaptions and what we need to do to complete a Bergen. And also we're going to go into why there can be wait times sometimes. Right, first then, what do you need to do to get your Bergen adapted? First thing you need to do is go online. All our adaptions for our day sacks and our Bergens are online. You order all your adaptions online. Second thing is, we only adapt PLC Bergens and Monroe day sacks. If you've got anything else, please call us and we'll be able to tell you if we can do it or we can't do it. The reason why we can't do some things is because of some of the fabrics that they use are thin, so when we go back and we strip them down and then resew them, it will make what they call a postage stamp effect, which makes the fabric weaker. Sometimes as well, the designs are that elaborate that we can't get in to actually adapt them, or things won't fit on there. If you don't see any adaptions that are online, please just put a note inside with what you want to do, and we'll contact you when we receive the Bergen our end, and we'll talk you through it and see if we can do it or we can't do it. Before you send a Bergen into us, make sure, and this is quite important, that you clean it. Remember, we have a lot of Bergens that come through here every week, and we have people that actually have to handle the Bergens and strip them down, and they get covered in dirt, grime. Also, some of the machines that we use, a couple of machines, are worth £10,000 each. It's like taking the oil cap off your car and pouring sand into it. It absolutely destroys the machines. So if you can, put it in the washing machine, power it down, power wash it down, or brush the muck off it. But please clean the Bergen before it comes to us. Next, remove your side pouches and remove your frame. We don't need those, and they can just get lost. When they're down here with all the Bergens that are around, things can get lost. So just remove the frame and remove the side pouches. Next, and this is another really important point, make sure you put a note inside with the Bergen with your name and your order number on it. The reason being is we need to be able to identify your Bergen and match it to the paperwork that we have our side. Sometimes we have a lot of Bergens that come into us that don't have any information on whatsoever. All that will happen is your Bergen will go into a pile and it will just sit there until we can identify it later on to get it done. So please put a note in with your name and the order number inside the Bergen. Next, it's pretty simple. Just wrap your Bergen up and send it in to us. Mark it for workshops, and then also you're responsible for getting it to us via post office or however you want to send it down to us. The postage that you pay online is for the postage back to you. When we receive the Bergen, you'll get a series of text messages that will say things like, your Bergen's being received by us, you'll get a scheduled work date, and you will get a complete date. Please put your mobile number down, because it's better for us to send text messages because you will get them quicker, as some emails will go straight to spam filters and you won't see any notifications coming up. So put a mobile number down so we can actually contact you faster. So now I'm going to give you a quick insight into what goes into doing a Bergen adaptation with us. Depending on what courses are running at the time, we can go between 30 and 60 Bergens per week through our factory. So this is why our wait times go up and down depending on the volume that we've got in at the time. So if you can, try and get your kit into us as quick as you can. If you're worried about your timelines and lead times, please just drop us a question on Facebook or Instagram and we'll answer it straight away, more or less. We've been there and we understand the fastballs. We understand that you can get a drop of a hat, but we'll do our best, and we always do our best to get the Bergens done as quick as we can. So the first part of the process for us is we call it the strip down. This is where we take your Bergen, this is what it looks like when you send it in to us, and then we basically strip it down to its bare bones. Depending on the scale or the amount that you're having done to your Bergen, all Bergens have to be stripped down at some point. This is why it's a very, very time consuming thing of stripping them down, attaching the pouches and rebuilding the Bergen. To give you an idea of what a Bergen looks like stripped down, this is a stripped down Bergen. As you can see, we've completely opened up the Bergen and taken every part of it apart so we can get this under our flatbed machines. So this is the main body of the Bergen. These are the waistbands that are on the Bergen. This is the bottom of the Bergen, and this is your top lip of the Bergen. All stripped down, ready to go for us to attach pouches. The reason why we strip down is because we can then put the pouches on correctly. They all fit correctly, things go into the seams, and we don't get any rough points that can rub on you or anything that could make your life uncomfortable. We're trying to make your life as comfortable as it can. So that's why we strip them down so we can attach all the pouches properly. So the next part that we come to is the assembly. Again, this is another part of the process that takes a lot of time to do. We have to then make up the pouches that you have ordered or the wider straps that you have ordered in order for us to put them onto your Bergen. To give you an idea, there's some of the products that we actually make. We have a top lid, a basher pouch, a triple pouch, the wider straps, water bottle pouches, drop down waistbands, floating lids, back pads, and mesh bladders. These are the most popular ones that we do for you. So the next phase of the Bergan adaptation is the rebuild. This is where we take all the components that we've made and your stripped down Bergen, and we assemble all the components to your Bergen and then rebuild your Bergen. One thing I want to just cover a quick subject, which is long back, short back and the differences between them. The capacity of a PLC Bergen is supposed to be 80 litres without the side pouches attached. In order for the manufacturers to hit this 80 litres on both long back and short back, they change the height of the back and the circumference. So on a long back, the height difference between a short back is roughly around 3 inches. It's not very much at all. But on the long back one, what they do is they make it higher, but the circumference is a lot less than on a short back, which is more squat with a bigger circumference on it. That's why we have different parts for different Bergens. So the distance between the zips here on the long back are a lot less than the distance on the short back. The short backs are a lot bigger difference. So we have to make the panels different sizes to fit your Bergen, whether it's a long back or whether it's a short back. Another reason why we make the pouches specific to your Bergen is because what we're trying to achieve is to give you the maximum amount of space that we can give you with the space that we have on that Bergen. So like the bashers, we're trying to get you as much space as we can on the Bergen that we have there. Some other manufacturers will just go in between there, which just makes a really small pouch and it doesn't become much use. Another reason why we make specific pouches to the Bergen sizes is because what we're trying to achieve is weight saving. Everything is about weight saving. So things like triple pouches, because they're on the bottom end, they're double lined because they're going to get a lot of hammer and a lot of abrasion. But things like basher pouches and the mesh bladders don't need to be lined. So we're trying to save weight. I think off the top of my head that a fully modded Bergen only adds 900 grams when we finish with it. So what I want to talk to you now is roughly about the different pouches that we put on there. So starting with the bash pouch, as you can see, it goes from zip to zip, gives you a maximum amount of area that we can give you. We also have in here a little lid. So it's a zipped and a lid. So you've got a zip opening and you've got a lid that covers it, just in case that zip breaks. To be honest with you, we never had a zip break, but we put that lid on there just to give you a bit of a warm fuzzy feeling. In case that zip goes, you can still use that pouch. As I said before, the triple pouches, these are the same size pouches that fit onto our webbing. So they'll fit your jet boils, they'll fit your water bottles, everything. What we don't do on ours is we even pleat them like on our belt kit. So when they open out in a pleat, so they're not constricted, because what some people do is they just crunch the pouches up and then they can't open up. So the idea is that the pouch opens up against each other so you can get the maximum volume out of these triple pouches. Another popular adaptation that we do is the mesh bladder. What we do is we put a really big mesh pocket that's pleated on the side of your Bergen. You can either have it on one side or you can have two, one on each side. It's really popular with people going to the jungle. It's also popular now with people going into warmer climates because a lot of the exercises in warmer climates. They can use camel bikes, you can put basher poles in it. Anything that you want to, you can put down to the side of the Bergen without it being falling out the bottom. It's got a drawstring neck to it. And also we fit it underneath the zips so you can attach the side pouch and it doesn't interfere with the mesh bladder. The next adaptation is the top lid. Another popular one, not with everybody, but those who want more space in the top. The reason why we do the top lid and make the top lid like this, which is a complete panel that just fits on top of the actual main lid, is because people ask us about putting a 3/4 zip onto the issue pouch that's on there. We can't do this. And the reason being is A, you can't get into the pouch to strip it down, but the other reason is we have to get a flatbed machine in there, and we can't get in there because you've got a pocket on the underneath. So it's quicker for us to actually make a new pouch than it is to actually adapt one that is already existing. Also, the ones that are existed are actually shaped, so we can't really sew it round. The other thing as well is we turn the zip round, so when you have the Bergen flat on the floor like that and you're sitting on the Bergen, you can access the top pocket. The other adaptation that we do is called the floating lid. Basically, this is used for anybody that's having that's mainly petroleum and they carry the day sack underneath. The idea is to give the top lid more height so it fits over the top of the day sack by use of straps. So the straps, all you do is extend the straps and it basically lifts the lid up so it sits square onto the top of the day sack rather than being down here and like that, as you can see, like on the top. Just one more point on the floating lid. Some people ask us why we don't put fabric down the back to the actual Bergen. The reason why we don't do it is because, I think it's because people think water's going to get down into the neck. But water's going to get there anyway because your lid's going to be up there with your day sack on there. And to be honest with you, I used it for years and years and years and there's just no need for it. However, if you want it, that's not a problem. Just put it in a note inside your Bergen saying, can you give me a fabric insert on the floating lid? Another very, very popular, probably actually 95% of our Bergens all have this adaptation done, is the wider strap. JJ's one of the few companies, or probably the only company, that totally replaces the straps. We don't adapt to your existing straps, we don't put plastic into there because it rubs on the neck. We basically take your old straps, throw them away and remake new straps with a heavy duty spacer foam and a heavy duty foam. The wider strap is all about the foam. It's inside it. It's not about having plastic in there or anything like that. It's about the foam and a good grade foam that doesn't degrade and then soften up over time. It keeps its shape and it stays rigid but still comfortable over a long period of time. If you notice on the wider straps as well, you'll probably see it better on this one. We actually strip the Bergen down, open up the flap that's on the back that covers them, and then re-sew everything together on them. So everything goes nice and tidy, nice and comfortable on the inside. So we totally replace these wide straps. The next one is the back pad. Again, another most popular one. Again, probably 96, 99% of all Bergens that come into us have the back pad done. Reason being, it's more comfortable. I know from experience when I was in and serving that the biggest problem that we had with Bergen burns came from a piece of webbing that's on the sides down here. These are being stripped off. That's what gives you the Bergen burn on your sides of your back. We totally take these off and then we actually put the spacer foam goes into the seam so it's totally smooth on the back. That's what we do for the back pad. Another adaptation that we come up with was what we called the drop down. These are drop down waistbands and then you can attach your water bottles to it or anything like that. The problem that you have with the existing waistbands is that when you have them on, they actually come up here and restrict your breathing up here. So the idea was we developed a drop down, so as it comes out of the side, the seam, it drops down and so it fits more around your waist rather than being up here around your stomach and your belly. Once we've done all this magic to these adaptations, basically what we're going to do then is basically sew the Bergen back up together. That's everything that we've done, making sure it goes back to its original status when you sent it into us. So all the seams are sewn up, everything's done and checked to make sure that everything's right. Just to recap then, just make sure that when you're sending your Bergen into us, it has your name and your contact number inside the Bergen. Make sure it's clean and remove your frame and your side pouches. Thanks for watching. And just to save the comments about how we spell Bergan, it is actually Bergan, not Bergen, after the man that invented the framed rucksack, Old Bergan. He just happened to have a company, or started a company, that was called Bergans, that need to be situated, that were actually located in Bergen of Norway. So it's Bergan. Thanks.